Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dear students. So in this tutorial we're going to go through the exercise that I told you need to do. It's just an exercise to draw a shape layer. I had a face for a clock. You can search online for any face that you like, but we're going to go through this basically. I already drew this, so I'm going to draw it with you again. As I told you before, the technique or the method that I use is not the only one and might be not the best one. So it's up to you if you want to use other techniques. First of all, I said you're gonna get extra credit if you can make them in one shape layer. Like here, you see, I have them all designed in one shape layer. So we're gonna do the same thing. So I will create a new composition. If you want, you can stick to this. This is 2018 version, so the default preset is not full HD, it's HD, but you can go for full HD if you want. I'm gonna keep it as it is. I already have a composition designed, so what I'm gonna do is just go to this layer and change the opacity to a lower value, so it's gonna be a reference for me, and then I'm gonna lock it and all other layers. Okay. And I'm gonna start my new layer, or you can just select those if you want, right click, pre-compose them in a composition, and keep them as a background. If you don't want to do this, another way is you create a new composition yourself and you say clock exercise, and you keep the same thing, and then you press OK. And in this clock exercise you get this composition and you insert it here as a background. As you can see here, I'm gonna make it lock. So now we're gonna start by creating our shape layers. So I will use this technique. I will select an ellipse and double click it. Again, the way I do this, because I want my shape to be centered, its anchor point to be also centered. I don't need stroke for this shape. I'm gonna make it off. Okay, I need to go to the ellipse path. I will deselect the link and I'm gonna make it around 10 by 10. As you can see, the circle is a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna make it harder. I guess it's just to match the background, so it's gonna be 30 by 30. As you can see here, it's matched the background, so there is no need for the stroke. Okay, so you see the stroke here is hidden. You can, if you want, you can select and then delete if you don't need it, or if you think you're not gonna use it. I will just go to this group and change its name to center fill. Okay, so this is the center of my watch and it's gonna be filled. Now, as my shape is clicked, I need to create another circle. As you can see here, I have another circle, and several circles. So I will keep my layer selected. I'm gonna name it first of all to clock face exercise, or clock face only. I like to use camel cases, but you can leave spaces if you want, like this. Okay, I will create another shape. I'm going to use the same technique. I will double click. You see the circle is going to be created here as well. So this time I will go to the ellipse. I'm going to use several techniques through the exercise, so you learn them. I'm going to enable the stroke, disable the fill. I don't need the fill. I will go to the stroke, make sure that the color is black so it's obvious. Change the stroke width to 2, I guess, or maybe 1. It's gonna be enough. and I will again go to the path, to the ellipse path, and check this because I want the size to be uniform. I'm gonna make it 100 by 100. It is small. Now I will check it on, so I don't need to change the two values, so that's why. Okay, it's 350. 350 by 350. It's gonna be designed. Now, if you remember the shape before or below, sorry, it was dashed line. So you have two options. You either create a small rectangle, a small circle, or any shape similar to this, and then you repeat it, or you just create an ellipse like that, and then you go to the stroke. So now I don't need the fill, I can delete it. You can add a fill if you want later on, but no need for that. I will go to the stroke and I will add dashes, as you can see here. You see I added dashes, but you can increase the number of dashes if you want. Increase the number of dashes, you need to make it smaller, so I'm gonna make them around 3 points. There is no specific point, it's a user preference. Whatever you find okay, you can keep. So I'm gonna hide this just to see the points. For me they looks okay, they looks good. If you want to make them larger, you can do this as well. Okay, always don't forget to save your work. So what I'm gonna do is go to file, save, and save as, and I'm gonna name this exercise semester 2 19 20. I save them inside the folder that I create. Let me just make sure that the file is recorded. Okay, it's recording. Sorry. Now we need to create the outer circles, but before this, just to keep our shape organized, I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna rename it. I will just say press enter, dashed circle. Okay, and just to make it clear for me, I'm gonna say stroke, so I know that there is no repeater involved here. I'm gonna write circle here, center, fill as well. So as you can see here, I am creating them all inside the same shape layer into several groups. Each group has its own transform. As you can see, let me collapse the stroke, collapse the path. You see this is the transform, and this is the transform. And basically, if you want, you can keep each one in separate shape, but this is just to show you how to create groups. This is a way to practice the group process. Now we have to create these two circles. So again, I'm going to keep this selected. I will double click. It's going to give me this, the default behavior. Again, no fill, stroke. It's going to be black, and the width is going to be 1. And I will now go to the ellipse path, change the size. I'm going to make it 500 by 500. It's going to be smaller a little bit, so it is, sorry, after 500 by 500 I need to constrain proportions again by looking them and then make them smaller, so they're going to be around 470. Again, if you don't want to follow up, not 74, 470, sorry, and 470, if you don't need exactly the same values, it's okay, it's fine, no problem. So as you can see here, I'm gonna name this ellipse double circles or double circle. I'm gonna just make this, and stroke again. This is just a name I use to understand what I do usually, but you can do whatever you want with that. Now what I'm gonna do is I need to create another circle. So instead of creating another shape, I will just duplicate this path because it's gonna follow the same stroke. So this is gonna be path 1 and duplicate is gonna be path 2. But here I'm gonna make it 500, both, okay, or maybe more, a little bit. Okay, 520, so it's gonna be 50 pixels between them. Again, I'm trying to follow the shape. If you don't want to follow the shape, you can change these values accordingly as you want. Okay, so I created the double circles now inside one group. As you can see, I have two shapes inside one group. And now I'm not gonna double click again and do all these things. I will just duplicate this double circle stroke to that, and I'm gonna name it. It's not double circle stroke, it's gonna be circle stroke, and I'm gonna make it circle bold stroke, because this circle is the stroke size is gonna be more than one. First of all, I don't need the second path, I'm gonna delete it, and first of all I need to go more to that side, almost the middle, and then increase the size of the stroke to something similar to this. Okay, I guess 12 or maybe 10 is fine. I'm gonna make it 10, and then I'm gonna make the size 550. Okay, you might say, but it's not the same, it is a little bit different. Okay, you can make it 12 if you want, or I guess 13, and if you want to be very precise now, it's okay. That's perfect. Again, this is not very important. You can use any values that you like. So I might go this time with 10, just to make it, oh, to show you that I can do this. I can, it's not necessarily to be 13 or 12, it could be anything. Okay, now if I hide the background, I see I am almost there. I just need to create the hours and minutes shapes, and then the arms, the hour, minute, seconds, arms. Okay, so we're gonna go back again here. I'm gonna use this time another shape. Basically, it's gonna be a polygon shape, because I need to create a rectangle. So rectangle is a three-sided polygon. I will double click. As you can see here, it's gonna be my polygon. For this time, I will go to the fill. Again, I will add a fill, remove the stroke. Now this is gonna be enter our triangle, and it is filled, and it has a repeater. Okay, so I know from the group what's going on in case I came back or you came back to this later on. So I will go to the polystar. First thing, I'm gonna change the points to 3. Okay, and I need to change the radius. I'm gonna make it 50. You might say I might need to make it less than 50, and I'm gonna change the position of Y to this or to this. Yeah, I need to make it less than 50. Basically, it's gonna be around 20 or maybe less. Yeah, 20 is fine. If you want me to come here, you see it's almost okay, but we can make it 18 or maybe less. But let's just change this to, okay, maybe 17. Again, one value or one point is not going to make a big difference, to be honest. And this is going to be my minus 243. Again, these values might be different in your case, based on the composition size, based on the clock phase that you want to design. What I will do, I will change the rotation. I will make it 180 degrees because I want it to be that way. So now I need to change the position, and I'm gonna make it something like 250 or minus 250. Okay, 252 maybe. No, 251. Even 250 will be okay. Anyway, nobody will zoom like this, because usually with this kind of animation you are not gonna zoom. As you can see, you're gonna fit to 100%. It's gonna be this size, and it's gonna be very clear. And make sure when you go to there is no stroke, so I'm gonna delete the stroke. Make sure that your transform is all zeros. so you're gonna be okay. You're gonna not you're not gonna have issues when you do the repeater. So what I will do now, I will do a repeater. How many copies I need? Hours. So I need 12 copies of this shape of the polygon. So I'm gonna click here. Remember, I will click here, not here, because I want to add the repeater inside this group, not inside this group. Because if you add it inside this group, it's gonna repeat everything, which means all these shapes. So I need to repeat only the polystar path. You can change the name of this as well if you want. So I will add, and I'll add repeater. You see here I added a repeater for the triangle only. So I'll go to the repeater. I will see what I can do with this. I'm gonna make this 0. Okay, I need to have 12 copies, and these 12 copies are gonna be separated by 360 by 12, which means 30 degrees. So now you might ask, how come it's directly repeated along a circular path? Again, if you remember the last online session that we conducted, when I went to the polystar, I changed the position to -251 or to anything, but so this is gonna affect how my repeater will looks like. So you see, by default, when it's 0, they're gonna be rotated around itself, sorry. So it's gonna look like this. But you can change the position around X, you can change the position around Y, or around both of them. So to make them looks like what I did, I just made it that way. So now I have the shape as you can see it, which for me is okay. Now I can repeat the same thing for the lines, but what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna duplicate again. Again, it's not gonna be so fast, but at least I don't need to do all these. I don't need to add the repeater again and change the copies. Anyway, I'm trying to use different techniques. I don't always do duplication, but just to show you, you can duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to name it, it's not hour, it is minute, and it's not a triangle, it's going to be a line, and it's not going to be fill, it's going to be stroke, and it's going to be repeater. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the polystar and delete it. And before I delete the polystar, I need to add something else. Okay, or you can delete and then you add something else, it's fine. This something else I'm going to do is I will add what? Basically, I'm going to add a rectangle. Okay, you see this rectangle is going to be repeated. I will unhide the repeater so you see the rectangle clearly. So I will go to the rectangle. I said I don't need a stroke. Basically, I don't need to fill the name. I got it wrong. It's not stroke because I'm gonna write. I'm gonna create a rectangle. Okay, not a line. You can create a line if you want, but since the add here it has a rectangle, I'm gonna add a rectangle. I'm gonna make it very narrow like that. Okay, around 2 points, and this is gonna be around, I guess, 50. Yes. Why it's 50? Because the difference between these two lines is 50. So I'm gonna log them again, and let me try. Is it gonna be okay? Oh no, how come? Maybe I made a wrong calculation, so I'm gonna make it around 30. 30 is gonna be, I guess, okay. Let me hide this for now. Which one? This one, the hour, so I can see the minutes. Okay, I will delete this polystar, I don't need that. So I will zoom in a little bit. I will make sure that this is, I guess, 25 is fine. Let me check the values. Yes, 25 is okay, and this is going to be 2, a little bit thicker. So now it's fine with me. I will go and make this visible again. You don't need to see this. Basically, you can make it 20. Okay, 20 24 is fine, 25 is fine, but I can go here if you want, and you can just make this a little bit larger, 18. Why? Because I just want to, any 1 pixel is only going to make a difference. Before it was better. Okay, so what I am gonna do is, again, nobody can see this, but just to make it a little bit better of this, I'm gonna make it 24. Okay, it's gonna be behind, not in the front, so this is gonna be okay. How many copies do we need? 60 minutes, which means 60 copies. So I have the repeater already there. I will make it visible. I will make this 60, and I need to change the transform for the repeater to 360 degrees divided by 60, which makes it 6. You see, I have 60 lines. And if you think they are bold, you can change their size to 1, the width, but I'm gonna keep them as it is right now. What I'm gonna do, I just need to move this below it. Okay, I will save. I didn't save for a long time. You should save always, especially in the exams. And I don't know when we're gonna have an exam, but you see, this is my circle. So now few things to go, which are the hands. Basically, the hands are also rectangles. Okay, we can create them using the same way, or same way that we did. Again, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes plus another 3. I'm gonna go here, make sure that this is selected. I am still on recording. Yes, 21 minutes. So I will double click just to make sure it's in the center. Wow, everything is gone. Sure, because the rectangle covers everything. I'm gonna make this 5, and I'm gonna change the size of it to, if I remember what was the radius of the 350, I'm gonna make it around 170. Okay, I'm gonna change the position of it to be like this. I will just change the design to make it like this. I'm gonna make it 180, or maybe 200. I don't know, do you think? Let's make it 200. Okay, oh, not 200 too much. Maybe 190 is fine, because I need it to be a little bit out from here. Okay, so this is going to be not rectangle, this is going to be our fill. No stroke, nothing. Sorry, no repeater and nothing. But there is one thing I need to keep in mind, which is this. Okay, sorry, I cannot do this because this is gonna affect the whole layer itself. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to here. I will select the rectangle path. I made a mistake. I thought this is a shape by itself, but it's not. So let me just make this a little bit larger, and I'm gonna go to the transform for the fill color, and I will change this to be like that. So now when I rotate, it's gonna rotate along this. See, you need to make one perfect, or one not perfect, one is okay, and then you do the rest, seconds and minutes. So this is because I'm gonna duplicate, as you might predict it. So I will duplicate this, and this is going to be fill, but not our minute. So we are back. We had a break. I had a small break. So basically, this is a minute, and I guess the minute should be longer than hours, as I saw here from the background behind. So it's fine, no problem. I will just go to the minute. I will do first. I need to change this size to be around 2. Okay, I'm gonna go to the hour. I'm gonna change this in order to be smaller, around 100. Oh, okay, let's just make the rotation 0 for them. This is 0, as you can see here. Okay, I will do the following. Let me make sure to change the position of it to be like this. So now when I rotate, it's, oh, sorry, I should have not done this. I need to change the position from here. But first of all, let me go to the minute and minute minute transform. I'm gonna make the rotation 0 both, so they're gonna be the same. Okay, and now I need to just move that to the size, to the side. And now what if I do the rotation? What's gonna be the result for that? Yeah, it is very good. Okay, I guess I need to make the minute less than, change the width to less than 1. It's going to be around 2, or less than 2 is going to be around 1. But okay, I see now why I have a problem. I didn't remove the stroke, so I'm going to delete the stroke from here, and I'm going to delete the stroke from the hours. Okay, now it's very obvious. It's better, basically. It's not very obvious, it's better, because I was wondering, it's too low. So now this is 2. Yes, now this is 5. I'm gonna make it, no, 5 is a little bit, my 3 is fine. I'm gonna go to the hours, and I'm gonna increase this to 9, around 9. Or you can make it, yeah, if you want to follow the previous drawing, it's gonna be 9. Again, you might say, but the hours are longer. You can make it longer if you want. Basically, if you want, you can make it longer, up to you. And then you can just make it like this. This is fine for me. So now the last thing is gonna be is seconds. So hour, minutes, I'm gonna duplicate, and this is going to be sorry, seconds. So, or second, you can make name it seconds. Yeah, and hours, not hour, and minutes. One thing you need to remember, one very important thing that you need to remember, is when you do duplications, you make sure that the group is correctly designed. The problem I had is a stroke. I had to delete it from several groups. If I have 2 groups, it's fine, but if I have more, it's going to be an issue for me. The second, I'm going to make it same thing, but I will go to the rectangle path and make the size. I'll make this, I'll keep it basically same length. I can make it less, but anyway, you got the point. You can make it shorter if you want. And then now I will just do rotation. Now I'm gonna change the timing to be just like our lecture timing, basically. So I'm gonna go to the hours. I will change the rotation to be around 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna change the minutes to be around anything, something like it's 8:15, or you can make it 8:20, and then the seconds, just you can make it anywhere you want, you see. Okay, just make it like this, and that's it. Sorry, we are done with our clock design. You can add colors to them if you want, for sure. Okay, as you can see here, I'm gonna just color them a little bit. I'm gonna go to the to the minute rectangle fill repeater. I'm gonna make the fill red, for example. Sorry, you see. And I will go to, where is the triangle? Here. I'm gonna make it around like blue. Okay, if you want. and so on. You don't need to do this if you don't like. I'm gonna keep them black, I think better. Save your file, and we are done. You are free to ask any questions after seeing the video. This is the exercise that I want you to do. Sorry, since I did it now for you, you need to do another one. I mean by another one, another design. You can use the same methods, same techniques, but different clock face. You can find many clock faces in Google, as you can see here. I already wrote clock Google and clock face in Google, and I had many. You can have any number of clocks that you want. Okay, any number of any kind of clock face. Okay, and or you can come up with your own clock face. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and I hope this was useful. See you in the next tutorial.